everyone, it's IRL, and I'm here with HurleyBird and Yomo from H&Y. Hi, guys.
Hey, how's it going? I'm Hurley, by the way.
I must say, let's start with you, Eric, and that would be really helpful.
He's more known as the Eric than I am, to be honest. That's
Yeah.
me first.
You both were here early, though, in all fairness.
We've always went by our last names. So
Yeah,
it's a good one.
in sports thing, and then I was in the Army. So I've been Hurley.
Yeah, always been Moses, but Yomo here.
Yomo, did you serve too? You're
No.
here.
None. I after 2 deployments and such over in Afghanistan and Egypt. So big shouts to him.
Army?
Yep. Yeah, I was a cavalry officer in the Army. So no horses anymore. Sorry, Thirstover, if she's watching. No horses, but we're armored vehicles and reconnaissance. So our guys like sneak and peek on the enemy and then make their lives hell.
Thanks for your service.
Much easier to do deployments and be away from family and stuff with a supportive populace. I can't say enough about how supportive Americans are.
I couldn't got all my love and respect for it. Accepted. I couldn't do it, so props to you. All right, HurleyBird, why don't you go first?
Actually started looking into cryptocurrency pretty early. I'm a very experiential learner. I have to try things, and I lose a lot of money trying things, but I like to learn that way. So I learned about cryptocurrency back, I think it might've been 2014. I bought 2 Bitcoin for about $900. I sold them immediately just because I wanted to learn how it works. So I went and set up an account on Kraken. I bought 2 Bitcoin, waited the freaking 15 minutes for the approval, and then I just sold them right away. Wish I would have kept them because it would have been a hell of a return, but I was just doing it to learn. And so I started to look into it. Then I started to really research. And then when Algorand came out, I heard about it, and I was just getting out of the Army at the time and going to get my MBA on the GI Bill. And so I took a cryptocurrency course, a blockchain course. And part of that was how can you use blockchain to make business more efficient, more effective, stuff like that, create business solutions using distributed ledger technology. And so I researched, about 8-9 different chains, and I picked Algo as my favorite for all of my projects because I was thinking very large scale, like voter registration and voting in democratic elections, in supply chain efficiencies, in global trade and international business. And Algorand hit all the marks. It was safe, secure, no forking. It was incredibly fast, and the fees were incredibly low. So I really deep dived into it there. And then that's kind of where I landed. And now I hold, just for transparency, I hold Bitcoin, I hold Ethereum, and I hold Algorand. And Algorand's my largest holding, but the other 2 are pretty close.
Okay. And a hockey game had something to do with Yomo here, right?
Yes.
Lost the bet, right?
Blackhawks fan, and Moses is a big Red Wings fan. They've been rivals for a long time. So when they were playing, we had a bet on who would win. And I told Moses, it was a $40 bet, but when he lost, I was like, hey, instead of paying me, just go buy Algorand, just get involved in this cryptocurrency space.
Yeah, because I do not have a finance background. I think from the last interview, English major. Well, that's not my cup of tea. I'm really grateful to have a best friend that is this intelligent and does his own research and doesn't pass along anything as financial advice, but just, hey, this is stuff to help you out. So yeah, I don't really know shit, but it's been great learning. And as Shirley mentioned, he's an experiential learner. It's much easier to learn in an immersive manner. So I would say over this past year and such, I've learned more about the DO, blockchain, Web3, wherever you want to call these things, more than I ever would have imagined. So thanks again, Early. Appreciate it.
But you both started Reddit, right? You both go back to the Algorand Reddit days.
Yes. Yeah. So I was a moderator on the subreddit, and then Moses was just like the community guy. Yeah, he was an artist, supposedly. Loose term there back then. But yeah, it was a fun time. Same with Roadster or Algo Gear on Twitter. He was a moderator as well. He was the Banhammer moderator. So I was the guy that would walk around and just check copyright, make sure people aren't breaking laws, make sure almost like consumer protection for the most part in the subreddit. And then Roadster, I just pass off people to him and he'd slam them with the Banhammer.
Sure. Do you use your background? What do you do for Fiat?
I'm a marketing manager. So I run a brand. Right now I'm focused on orthopedics. So I work with 2 different brands that we have, and I sell the orthopedic surgeon. Basically, I don't sell, I market them. It's a strategy, figuring out where to target, where to play, and then what kind of business opportunities are available to us.
So you're not the pharmaceutical rep that's like
Surgical tools. Yep. So it's a much different realm. Our reps are like actually in the OR. A lot of people don't know that. They're the technical experts. Best way to explain it is a surgeon goes through medical school and learns the anatomy, the disease states, and the procedures. But think about how much your phone has changed in the last decade. The same thing is going on in the medical device world. Technology is increasing rapidly. There's no way a surgeon could keep on top of all that. So the device rep is in there as the technical expert. The surgeon's using the device. The rep doesn't do any part of the surgery.
Hey, son, you think of people houses, they bring in electricians.
Exactly.
Okay. And then, Yobo, I know you are in talent management, correct? Or
Yeah, so I'm the key director. So thinking about 50 different businesses on the talent side, whether that's bringing in folks to their company, whether that's the retention side, and also the learning and engagement side as well. Also trying to grow your employees and also battle attrition and things of that nature. But yeah, absolutely love the job and very blessed to be able to do that, work from home, and to have this fun on the side here too.
we went back to days, but one of the first things I saw on Reddit were the Algo Bros. Really hated that, right?
Yeah, that was my first foray into art, not into art, into and art. So they're like cute, fun. They actually started not as a project per se. So now you see like NFTs come out, except for these long boys. I love these long boys because it's just a fun way to celebrate people and stuff. So if you go look at the very first like 10 to 12 Algo Bros, they're all just gifts for people. So you had one like Soodle's nickname was Eating Noodles. And so there's an Algo Bro eating noodles and it's got like slurp in the back. We had a guy, Dick LaFlame, who helped me with riddles that this guy made all the time. So he had a Sherlock Algo Bro. Dangerous Treacle used to create these riddles. So he had a weird serial killer Algo Bro. And then Moses loves boxing, is into boxing, and then also coaches boxing. So he had a boxer Algo Bro. So it was literally, I was just making these things and sending them to folks as a thank you. And then they became like one of the first pixel art series on Algorand until Stitchbot showed up and just blew it all away with the link.
You had your own series, Yomo. We haven't touched on in previous interviews.
Yeah.
But you also did the dogs too, right? They were
That was like, again, that was more of an educational thing. Because dogs have a huge play in my life. Not to get all sappy or anything like that, but just why I had that project, why I post pictures of my dog all the time. Well, I had a brother that passed away when I was 5. He was 9. A few weeks later, my parents gave me a dog and said, "This is your brother." It's hard not to become super attached to dogs from there. So that series, I was talking to Hurley about, like, what can I like actually provide that's like a cool NFT? I'm not good at art. Hurley have seen me do a lot of biggies and it's terrible. So he actually built out that template for me. And the whole idea was finding like random cool facts about these breeds and using a completely license free Pixabay or whatever photo up there and just gifting out 3 of them. And I think a couple of them went 2 or 3 algo every once in a while, but it was super fun. Like a lot of people like Jetropolis, I think had all 30 or something like that. So people were collecting them and all that, learning cool little facts. And that was really the series. There wasn't much else.
Random fact for you. We actually started our foray into graphic art when we were probably, it had to have been like 2002, 2003. Yeah. And it was back when MMORPGs like RuneScape and World of Warcraft were big, and you'd hang out on forums. And on forums to basically what was the PFP back in the day for all these young people that have never been on forums now, was a signature block. And you could get a graphic piece of art on your signature. And we used to make these little like banners with like characters in them and names on them, and like animations for forums that people were on. And we'd trade them for RuneScape gold. So that's how we actually started with graphic art.
I love that you both learn hands-on. I had to do that. Like I was reading all about blockchain and trying to sift through the data, and you just have to jump in and try it. And then once you try Algorand, you're like, oh, this makes sense.
Yes.
And it felt like sending a fax. It did not feel like the future of tech to me. It was oddly expensive. I didn't know if I did it right. It takes so long.
Yeah.
Very much anxiety inducing for me. And so when I finally made the leap and started getting involved in it, like I knew I was doing it right, or knew I was messing up fast enough for me to learn and keep me.
Yeah. Yes. I love that.
I did think y'all were crazy trust swapping. Like I saw that and did not participate.
Yeah. We're going to get a little vouch system, and yeah, it was interesting. The trust swaps were fun back then, but yeah, definitely nerve wracking. We had our fair share of scammers, but like Roadster would do a good job of tracking wallets. We were like our own little, consumer protection. It was crazy. Roadster, had an Excel sheet of scammer wallets and would track the outflows and inflows so that we could catch the new wallet right away and warn people. And it was wild.
And one thing I think that probably also helped is I don't think any of us really anticipated like this blowing up. Like when we moved to Twitter and all that type of stuff, I was like, what's going on? Because you looked at half of the art, including my doggos and stuff like that. Like it was bad in that Reddit, but half of it was very good. But none of us had, I think we all had that trust too, because all of us were just like, we're just all having fun together. It's not like this has crazy monetary value or stuff like that we now think of nowadays.
Yeah, we basically just bought each other's things and sold to each other. So no one really cared about making profit. No one really cared about trying to exit up on their gains or anything. We just had fun just buying and selling from each other. It was a blast. A little different now with the business approach, but luckily Moses has built a community in H&Y and Boardports. It's a lot of fun and feels family. And there's still that kind of core group from Reddit and a few extras that have joined from Twitter that seem to care more about just enjoying NFTs than they do about making money off. So
Exactly.
So you're big into dogs, Yomo. I'm going to help Hurley with Elgato, which is a cat series, right?
He sucked me into that too. Yeah. He somehow managed to pull me into everything.
That's your first series. And then over time, things like we had the Pinkies come along and then the Buffbird. And then we have Borgs and it almost coming under the umbrella of H&Y.
yes. And I need to complete the lore, but they're all tied and connected too. So I'll give like the TLDR story on it. It's the Gatos live in this city called Falenia, and then the Pinkies live underground in the sewers because they're seen as like second class. They're mice, and cats don't really like mice. So the Pinkies are going to try to get seen as regular citizens and get to live above ground. And during their efforts, they create buff birds out of like science to help fight the Gatos because the Gatos are much larger. And eventually the Borgs are going to visit from outer space. So they're all connected in one big story. I've just gotten so busy that I haven't completed the story.
But you've got an English major on the team, so you're good.
Yeah.
I'm more of the social aspect again. He's really the idea guy.
I love it. I think one of the things that's most endearing about all the projects is the two of you. So I was really excited to get you both together. You guys are just I'm not gonna lie.
Shut.
It just is the cutest, most sincere feeling community that I like it. And there can be a danger, I feel like, when it comes to NFTs that you might not be welcoming to outsiders if you've got this core group of old friends. And that's not the case with H&Y. It's so welcoming.
And that's all Moses is that he's built an incredible community.
I think it's fantastic. Congratulations, because boards are sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of weight off Moses' shoulders.
No more shuffle tweets, Davey. No more shuffle tweets.
And you have one game that's up now that you can play with your boards. You guys laid out a roadmap, which I thought was fantastic. Not that I'm a huge fan of roadmaps, but I feel like a lot of times people who are thinking about starting a project don't really know what goes into it and what kind of commitment it entails. So I love the fact that you guys have been really transparent about fund allocation and just the whole process. It's slow and steady kind of wins the race with that. And so I always love to see good case studies come out of the ecosystem for other projects to look at and say, this is what people respond to.
Yeah, it's been fun. I don't like using the word roadmap either, but yeah, we did strategize where we're going to go. The hard part is finding dang developers in Algorand. It's been a hell of a search for us since Kraken went back to his full-time role. And so it's hard to find that, but it's also, I think people don't understand the cost and basically the cash inflows and outflows of running an NFT project. I think they see these things and they think, oh, these people make a lot of money. The reality is, I think we're probably, if we really looked at it, we'll down like $10,000 on board. Wow. So I think people don't understand the amount of cost that goes into building, and it's tough. We want to keep building. We have some goals right now for early next year that we hope to improve the current game if we can find a freaking developer. And then depending on the success of Boardports and really on the community, if they can keep it going, there are plans to create like a retro arcade. But again, it all depends on kind of the cash inflows and outflows too. At some point, we got to think about our families. But so far, it's going well. We sold out. We've got a really good floor price. We've got a very good listing amount. So we're very happy. And honestly, the people and the stories we hear, the happiness and the fun that people are having, that's what we really wanted to do. And that's why we were willing to sink 10 grand USD into this thing. And that's why we give away things like an undrummed Mingo and have other plans to give some pretty cool rewards because we want to make people happy and have fun with NFTs.
Also, I do want to talk about the raffles because I think it's cool. You play the game, which is an arcade style game. Play the game, you earn these tickets, and then you can enter the raffle tickets on your H&Y site. But you also have some really curated, there'll be an algo bro in there, or I'm still waiting for you, Yomo or a pinky with a bird. There's got
I got that. I gotta wait till Hurley ends beta because the thing is, along with the money side of it all, there's a lot of time that's put in as well. So when it comes to algatos, we drop those in batches of 69, litters of 69, because Hurley and Jim, I didn't have the bandwidth to create all 350 at once. And then with buff birds, we have all of them generated at the moment with the birds that are out there and such. Then you have to feed them another NSA called Awesome Shots, just some of the older reward that they could win through games. So I really would have to art himself some more buff birds and such. So there's some more time that it goes into that as well. So we will be pushing blue. I think I have a bluebird still, which is nice in the after, but probably give Hurley till after the holidays. So do that. I don't like to really tell people what I'm doing on the raffles and what kind of splash we're making and stuff like that, because then you have folks that are saving all that type of stuff. I really like to just people things. So whatever happens.
people still replace on Discord.
Yeah, opened it up a little bit because we do have roughly, I think, 50 pinkies left in the pinky wallet. We are phasing some of that utility out. You can't go in and hunt and catch a pinky every 48 hours. It's difficult because there's a lot of phrases in there. But outside of that, we do have, but we've changed it to evil bork fights. It's just, again, bandwidth issues. So you need to run these Discord games twice weekly, 3 times weekly. You really can probably attest. I was draining myself a lot because the Discord bots go down and people have this, and then people are angry if they don't win this from this, and it's all RNG. It's nice to have everything, in a sense, automated at this point for me because we have been doing it remedial for so many different things for about a year now. We're over a year in the project. So it's nice to have some automation now. So we phased away in the games a bit.
And they, like you said, bork game and how you have to earn raffle things. We don't airdrop stuff. That was a specific decision because we want to future proof this project. Like we want to make this thing able to be an official business when crypto is finally freaking regulated. And I had to make sure that we are within all securities laws in the United States, that it's a game of skill, not a game of luck or chance, which is where it becomes gambling versus just earning something. So we're very specific with our choices. And that's another reason I like to get away from Discord is while we're still making you go type a command, so you're still like actually initiating something, it's still a game of chance. So I'd much rather do the arcade games where it's a game of skill, and it really keeps us outside. It keeps us safe in security laws and outside of gambling regulation. So that's why we're very intentional with how we kind of distribute raffle.
Yeah, in all the world, that all circles back down to keeping the holders safe about what they purchased and all that kind of stuff. Because if you get that type of trouble, then there is no option besides dealing with it. So might as well be proactive instead of reactive there.
So occasionally my works do get lost in space. But yeah, so I liked the little notes. I thought they were really funny. Unity contributed. I'd love to see those types of the little successes within the Discord games somehow transition into that. I like it all. Discord is a barrier for a lot of people. And so I'm a fan of it all in one spot. I like why play, and then I can see what's in the ripples and it's all there. But yeah, I miss being called a sucker because my mouse is slow.
Yeah, we do. That's a great point. We do need to include, and we love having the music on the board game is all community members. We need to add this latest one that was made, but the community being involved in the actual project, tangibly, not just as a community, is one of our favorite things to do. So definitely something we need to look into on how we add maybe some fun messages and get community involved there as well.
I dig it. And give me a rundown because amazing community members who have stepped up.
Well, our supporters support it. We really feel it.
I just want to say, Shiva did a YouTube video with me. I will find a way to link that because I thought it was cool. It's a YouTube video of gameplay. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, Shiva, great for content if you want to check out any H&Y gameplay. He's also really big into punished games, so I think he's going to be really cool to watch when the Fractal Tabor game comes out, because he's going to give a lot of people a sneak peek into that because he's very immersive into that. But you got folks like Alex Roy, that's probably in a million people's projects, but like Hurley and I are amazed. He's wearing the DMs constantly, like, how is this guy so nice? We got Roadster in there that we mentioned prior, upstairs photos. He has put in Robotols. I need to be on this Fork Syndrome track so bad. He even has an intro song that we never got to include. And it's just, I think it's just him going Bork like nonstop. And it's amazing. Who else? You got Middle Dug in there, and you got Dick LaFlamme and that did music. And then you have just so many supporters like Fuzzy and Lancey and so many people that just go out there and talk about us and just bring awareness to the project out of their own way. You don't have to go tweet about us or anything like that. So it's really cool that we built such a strong project to be kind of small, like how we are small compared to the others out there, I'd say, but have such like a strong core to us. So I'm really proud of that. And a lot of the community, like involving the community in the stuff that we do, I think has helped a lot with that because they feel like they have hands in H&Y, or as some people call it, handy.
It's always dangerous listing people, but if you go to our Discord, you'll see, I mean, there's so many awesome people. And so if we forgot any, apologies, but the community is really the coolest part. It's what keeps us going after $10,000.
Yeah, it could go down a little. So I mean, everyone's named Yomo, so I guess we could just say everyone in the or named Yomo. Shout out to you. Shout out to
I
you.
did that list. I have Yomo in my
Shout out
notes
to you.
for it. I did know that you guys did the collaborative music. I love the Bork Me song. I think someone else succeed was helpful on Shiba's video. So I said it's a really collaborative, like I said, that warm, fuzzy teamwork, neighborhood black feel. And the game itself is very easy. When I talk about being welcoming to outside, I'm not a gamer. We all know IRL has never played RuneScape or whatever.
You're missing it.
People say.
I don't D&D. I have a hard time remembering what RPG and I love you guys, but I'm not a gamer and I can go on the site and play because it's literally just the arrow buttons. You go left and that's it. And I like that it's something for everyone. I have nephews that I'm going to get on the game during Christmas when they're up visiting.
That's awesome.
Get my rabbit stuff.
That's amazing. We don't know what to do.
Yeah. It's encouraging. For the most part, like obviously the site and stuff is safe for work. I can ask my 11-year-old nephew to play it. I just think it's what it does. It has that warm, fuzzy, black party family kind of feel. And so I appreciate it. And I like how easy it is. If you're interested, basically go to H&Y, right? It's HNY.com.
HurleyandYomo.com.
HurleyandYomo.com.
Handy.com would probably take you to some interest.
It'll go to handy.com.
HurleyandYomo.com.
I've been calling you guys Hurlmo.
Yeah, it's not Hurlmo, but you can call us then.
So HurleyandYomo.com. And then you can connect your wallet and you can see how many boards you have, how long they need to rest battling in between. It's very easy. It's just connect and then it's tap right or tap left.
Yep.
So I think it's inviting. I really think it's cool. I want to ask you both because you've been around since the Reddit days and the early NFTs. Do you have gleaned any wisdom there with us?
I think for me, I got two big things I'd say to the NFT world. One is just have fun with them. Stop. If you try to make it about money, you're only going to stress yourself out and cause yourself mental health issues, cause yourself to lose money that you can't. You just need to get it's fun. And if you make money from it, that's a bonus. But just try to have fun. I think one thing that's been a bummer about moving to Twitter is it's become much more transactional and there isn't that block party feel that you talked about anymore. And I think we can all learn to just step back and have fun with NFTs again. And I think it'd make it a much more enjoyable space for some people. The other thing, if you're starting a project, one thing I did not do well that if I could go back and redo, I experimented a lot with projects and I should have sat down and thought, how am I going to sustain this project going forward? Because it's no longer like Reddit days anymore where you can just experiment. We're just passing money back and forth. People are actually spending hard-earned money now. So creating a bunch of projects and selling them like I did back in the old days isn't going to work anymore. You have to think of it through like a business decision and think, how can I sustain this? How can I build on it? How can I continue to provide value for the people that own these NFTs, but also stay safe, stay away, understand securities laws and wherever regulation or jurisdiction that you're in, understand gambling regulations wherever you're at, read this stuff. If you're in the US, the SEC has a how to evaluate digital assets guide. that really helps out. There's a lot of projects in the NFT world right now that if crypto starts getting regulated are going to be in some trouble. And I just really don't want to see these people that have well intentions come across some oh shit moments 5-10 years from now if they're still around. So that'd be one, have fun. Two, if you're building, think of it like a business. Don't think of it as a hobby because people are spending hard-earned money and there are going to be enforcement parties that will be taking hard looks at these things in the coming years.
It's not just about keeping yourself safe. There is that you grow to love over time and it does become a family. You want to watch.
Yes.
Oh, I hear.
Yep.
Just to tag on everything he said, I'll just finish it up with, build relationships and know when to cut relationships in the space. There's a lot of people here that are here for the right reasons and that are going to drive you up as you drive them up. And there's a lot of people that are going to continuously pull away from you. So make sure that you know that your time is the most important resource because it feeds into everything that Hurley just talked about, but keeping it fun and all that type of stuff. Make sure you keep good folks around you and keep building relationships, and that'll make this a lasting experience for you.
I can tell you what I've learned from Yomo, that it creeped out. I totally the nerdy, socially awkward vibes. Like, I'm so weird when I slide into people's DMs. I'm weird and awkward, and Yomo's always very nice. So I appreciate all three.
You're welcome. Thanks for adding something so valuable to the space. Really like the whole human element that you bring to it and trying to express this stuff in layman's terms or whatever I think you self-deprecate yourself a bit when you're talking about it, which is just the algo way, I think, right now, which is awesome. Lean into it, but it really helps out a lot of folks, I think. And I enjoy your videos.
Hit the subscribe button.
I'll hit it. I'll mash it.
All right. I appreciate you both. I know you're super busy. I won't keep you, but thanks so much for connecting with me. The best.
Yeah. Thanks for what you do. This is awesome. And thanks for having us. And thanks for supporting H&Y. People are why we do what we do. So thank you.
Nothing. How do you say the token?
E30. Yeah.
It's a raffle ticket. It'll never be ever dropped or you got to go play the game of skill. And if Stitch is listening, it is a game of skill. I don't know, but it is.
Who decided what to name it?
It's like a spacey thing.
It's weird. I don't say it.
It is.
Or at least it's like the biggest nerd in space, but no one gets good for it. But whatever.
Either. I appreciate you both. Take care.
No worries. Thanks for being on to help with the tech stuff.
Appreciate you. Do we got to do something for the thumbnails? Is that we're done?
Trap would love that, but I haven't figured out a way to make me know.
This is going to end up on the bloopers. We